Everything you need to know about manifesting your dream life and the one game changer that most of you are probably not using. Let's break this down for you today. We've got a lot of big opportunity coming for us in 2025. The energy is transitioning into something that's really serving us, but you got to know what to do with it and you got to know what you're doing wrong. And that's my jam. I love to debunk where you're fucking up because let me tell you, I did things the hard way so that you don't have to. I spent so much of my young adult trying to figure it out. Like, what is manifesting? How do I do this? And once I figured it out, I was able to teach it to thousands of people, which is really fucking cool. But also I arrived in my own dream life. Like, I am living my fucking dream. I can't even. Like, I just got married. I'm living in my dream house. Like, oh, it's so good. So let's talk about where you're kind of fucking it up. And then we're going to get into what to do to transition out of it. So one of the main things is the majority of humanity is still in survival mode. And we don't even know that we're doing that. So survival mode looks like trying. It looks like striving. It looks like attempting. It looks like sitting and visualizing endlessly or making fucking vision boards and putting them up on your walls thinking that that's going to change the game. I'm so sick of the woo-woo. I'm so sick of the fluff. You've got to be too. If it's not changing your life, put it aside. It's not working. What I want you to do is start to look at number one. It's a choice. Aligning, manifesting is a choice. This is where you're probably fucking up the most. If we go into searching for it, if we go into looking for it, if we go into trying to stay in gratitude, I'm going to do a whole other video on that so you can check out the link on that one. But if we are falsifying these things or using false positivity, you're never going to get there. It's not about faking it till you make it. It's about becoming the vibrational match of your desired reality. So step one, you're going to get your journal out. So we're going to write a whole list of what your desires are. I need you to pay attention to your verbiage. So your desires have to be positive and present. They can't be, I no longer tolerate bullshit in my life, or I no longer tolerate toxic people in my life. Instead, it's got to be, I know my value with respect, and that is my expectation. That is my requirement. I know that I have a loving, healthy relationship with prosperity. That is my expectation. That is my requirement. We got to get really clear on keeping it positive, keeping it present so that you can bring that into your life. So here's something that most people don't realize, and I talk a lot about this in my book. There's 12 universal principles, okay? A lot of people call them universal laws, and everybody is focused on the law of attraction. You're focusing on one of the 12 principles. And this is where so many people screw it up, including myself in the past. The principle of vibration is far more powerful than the principle of attraction or the law of attraction. And this is why. The law of attraction is only ever responding to the vibration. So if you put your focus on what is my actual vibration, then the law of attraction is just going to respond to you. It's always responding to you. It's always been responding to you. You have created the life that you are living right now. That includes the good stuff and the lack and the challenges. So what I want you to do is sort of dial it back and ask yourself, what am I feeling? There's a lot of moving pieces to this, but when we focus on what are you feeling? Are you feeling that you are in survival mode? Are you feeling lack? Are you feeling frustration? Are you looking for the love of your life? Are you looking for prosperity opportunities? Or are you becoming the vibrational match of those things? It's an inside job before it's an outside job. So self-awareness, that's going to be your takeaway from this video. We are going to become incredibly self-aware. I love to teach my students about putting an alarm in their phone. It'll shock you. So every hour for 3 days, put at every hour, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? What am I feeling? Because what we're feeling within our emotional body, within our mindset, within our energy is what we are radiating into universal flow. We're radiating that into the universe. And then the law of attraction is responding to what you are radiating out. So it's got to be, what am I experiencing? It is 100% normal to have a down day. It is 100% normal to be like depresso espresso. Like, it is absolutely okay. We're human. We're going to have these moments, but it's about the majority of your day, the majority of your thought, the majority of your week, helping yourself navigate out of those low vibrational thoughts, navigating out of being a pity party or a victim to your circumstances, and instead asking yourself, what's required within me in order for me to shift what I'm radiating out. So self-awareness is your game changer, guys. Go to your journal. I strongly encourage you to do it at least once a week. What have I moved through? What is the majority of my thought? Where am I putting my focus? What am I allowing to flourish within me? Am I fueling low vibration by saying things like I'm broke, or I'm lonely, or I can't figure it out, or when's it my turn? Or are you fueling the realization that you are the creator of your experience? Out of all the 12 principles, today I just want you to focus on the 2. The principle of vibration, principle of attraction. Your vibration is attracting in exactly what you are. So when we hear people say, become the change you want to see in the world, we hear these sayings, are you actually becoming the change you desire to experience in your world? It's a hard pill to swallow, I know, but it's a you thing. So we got to do that deep dive. You've got to ask yourself, where am I holding myself back? And why am I choosing this? A lot of us have endured tremendous abuse or neglect or all of those things. I know I certainly have. It's a challenge to kind of move through letting go of the pain that we've endured, right? So when we take the time to sort of dive into that and begin the healing work, and again, like there's so many tools in my private community, so join us. There's so many individuals like you and I who are ready to level up to the maximum. So I want you to jump into that community and get the tools and have that consistency, because when we look at the past and the things that we've endured and the pain that we've endured, you're not meant to do it alone. I did for so long, and it took me forever to arrive where I am right now. I have this like running joke with all my students. I did it the hard way so that I understand the shortcuts so that you can arrive quicker. Like it's like diving into, how do I get that support? It's reaching out. It's having a community. It's how do I understand what I'm moving through? We have painful pasts, a lot of us. And when we take the time to do that inner work, when we take the time to love that past version of ourselves and move through that pain point, we begin to liberate ourselves from that survival energy, which is going to let you move into thriving energy. And it's going to be a little bit easier for you to nurture the good stuff instead of the bad stuff. So self-awareness, doing that dive, understanding where you're holding yourself back, why you're holding yourself back, that's a big choice to make. And it's a lifestyle, it's a way of living. When it comes to manifesting everything you want, I see so many individuals sitting there being like, I'm going to create my vision board, I'm going to fake it till I make it, and then I'm going to get it, and then I'm going to go back to the way I was. And that's where a lot of people are failing, is they're not sustaining the change. Self-awareness is a way of living. It's a way of being so that you can ultimately thrive in the life that you desire. The energy in 2025 is going to be these peaks and valleys of opportunity for more self-awareness, these peaks and valleys of more connection. There's so many people getting this and coming together in community, coming together and supporting each other and realizing that you are actually limitless. Your mind cannot conceive the impossible. It cannot conceive something that it cannot receive. So it's so important to spend that time reflecting, to spend the time asking yourself, what do you actually desire? And get clear on that. If you are unclear on what you desire, you will not align with it. And the moment that you become clear on it, you start to see where you're holding yourself back. That's kind of the shitty part, but also the exciting part of being human, is that we are these multidimensional creatures that are just showcasing to ourselves what's not working in order for us to discover what is working. So when we look at our life and we look at the lack in our life, we have to ask ourselves, is this a me thing? Like, am I holding myself back? Am I choosing to stay in survival mode? Am I choosing to stay in lack mentality? Am I choosing to stay in low vibration? Or am I going to be courageous enough to discover what's happening for me, what's happening through me, what's happening with me, so that I can change the game? Every challenge you go through is the aftermath of some bullshit story you've been telling yourself, some lie, some old ancient story from your ancestors that you picked up and that you chose to continue to tell yourself. So we've got to get really clear on, are we holding ourselves back with like, money doesn't grow on trees? Are we holding ourselves back with, I have to work overtime, or I've got to get a better job? Or are we holding ourselves back on, I'm not thin enough, I'm not young enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not masculine enough in order to have love? Are we holding ourselves back on even lies in regards to the food that we're eating? Like, oh, this is too many calories. Like, every single story you tell yourself, you are putting into motion. You're putting it into creation, and you're going to receive that. So when we get these blockages or we get these challenges that we're experiencing, it's on you, boo. It's a you thing, 100%. I want you to really change the game I'm so passionate about watching people thrive. I'm so passionate about the light bulbs going off and being like, holy shit, this is what's been holding me back. This is my jam. I love it. So let's dive a little bit deeper now, okay? So we've got our journal. We've got a list of the things that we desire to pull in, the desired outcome of our 2025 year. So where do you want to be at the end of 2025? Get really, really crystal clear, make it positive and present. Then we're going to go into what is my definition of these things. So if you desire more prosperity, what's your definition of money? What's your definition of your work ethic? What's your definition of how you receive money? We're going to start to look at where you're limiting yourself. If you want more love in your life, what is your definition of love? I share this story quite often. My birth parents were children when they had me, and they were toxic. Oh my God. They would fight, they would hurt each other, and then it would just flip all of a sudden into like mad passion. So my inner child, my inner being, was always believing that my definition of love was it has to hurt before it's good. And let me tell you, all my 20s, even my early 30s, I was like bringing in the hurt and then it would get good, and then the hurt and then it would get good. Once I discovered that was my definition, I was able to redefine it for myself and be like, this is my definition of love, and then keep hyper focused on embracing that new definition, having that self-conversation, keeping that mental story fresh, catching the old patterns and changing gears and going back towards this new story. So with everything in your life that you desire, you got to get clear on what does your subconscious believe about that. So these are the other stepping stones. I've talked a lot about this in other videos as well, and very, very deeply in my book. There's 5 steps to how you're going to use the law of vibration in order for the law of attraction to serve you. So let's break this down, okay? The first step is your belief. You have a belief structure that's in your subconscious that is 95% of your unknown thought. All of the thoughts, 95% of it is in your subconscious. We're not functioning off of that. We're functioning off the right here, right now story that we're telling ourselves, that other 5%. So your belief in your body creates an emotion in the physical body. That's step 2, the emotion. The emotion is what you are feeling, what you are experiencing when you think about love, when you think about prosperity, when you think about being an entrepreneur, when you think about all of the goals that you have. What emotion does that invoke in you? Is it fear? Is it excitement? Is it belief that you actually can receive it, that you're worthy of it? Does it create this little ick of I'm not ready to be seen, or this ick of who's going to value me? I've got to figure out what that emotion is. That's the second step. The emotion creates the third step. The third step is it creates a frequency in your body, in your electromagnetic field. So that becomes the law of vibration. Frequency vibrates. So now you've got your vibration is moving from the belief, from the emotion, it becomes your vibration, the principle of vibration. The fourth step is that becomes the lens that you're looking through. It's your perception. So you begin to look through this lens of what love, what prosperity, what being an entrepreneur is, or whatever your goal is. You start to look through that lens and you start to see evidence of that in your world. And then the fifth step is that is your outcome. So you're creating your outcome, and the law of attraction, or the principle of attraction, is responding to all of those stepping stones, okay? So it's so important to figure out, what do you actually believe? Do you believe you're worthy? Do you believe that you are ready to be seen? That it's safe to be seen? Do you truly, truly, truly believe those things? That's back to the self-awareness that we talked about in the beginning here. It's not just this like flip of the switch and your gratitude journal and your vision board on your wall is going to get you there. It's not. It absolutely is not going to get you there. You may get little glimpses of it, but I want you to ask yourself really, truly, okay, how long have you been holding on to your dream? How long have you been holding on to this desired list that you have right now? And let's say that you're sitting in the seat that I am, where you've got, over 6-7 figures. You've got a great thing going. You've got the love of your life. You still have the opportunity to level up so much more. It is limitless in what you can bring into your life. There is no destination. There is no finish line. It is an endless expansion of receiving your vibration. So you can keep going, and you can keep going, and you can keep going. There's no limit whatsoever. And it's so freaking amazing when you figure this out, because you're just like, what's next? What's next? Right? You can work on vitality in your body, weight loss, all of the things. It's freaking amazing. So let's go back to getting positive present with that list, becoming very, very self-aware, understanding these 5 steps to creating your reality. Then we're going to move into holding strong. Now, this is where we're going to get a little serious for a second here. There is sacrifice, might not be the right word for this, but in order for you to receive what you truly desire, you're going to have to let go of the things that are not serving you. So you got to get really clear on what can I let go of. Often it's just the limitations within your mind, the self-discipline. It does take self-discipline. I am not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass and say, do these things and boom, you're going to have your dream life. There's action required. There is self-discipline required. So you've got to figure out scheduling your self-awareness. You've got to figure out, are you going to go to your journal and do that deep dive into your belief structure? You've got to figure out, who am I spending time with? Because energy is energy and we are consistently exchanging energy. You can look at it as transaction or transition. You're having transactions with people where you get this for that. Awesome. Or you can have transition where I'm going to become a part of your energy and I'm going to offer you a part of my energy. And when we look at that, you got to look at, who are you spending time with? Are you spending time with people who are small-minded? All right. And I'm not saying walk away on anything by any means, just be aware of what you are absorbing in your energy. So if you're spending time with a lot of boo-hoo, poor me, self-victimization or toxic vulnerability bullshit, you're going to slow yourself down, my love. If you are not disciplining and taking care of all 4 of your bodies, you are not going to arrive. You have 4 bodies. I will do a different video about that and dive into how to really take care of those. But for now, you got to be looking at, what am I absorbing? What am I becoming? What am I participating in externally as much as internally? And then you've got to get focused. You got to write it out. What are my goals? What are my desires? What's holding me back? Am I willing to do the work in order to change my vibration based on those 5 steps of creation? And then get really clear on the vision and stay focused. You got to keep your focus. All right. So there's some tips for you. I know you're going to have the most amazing 2025. Make sure you check out the yearly forecast that's coming up. Dive in. Can't wait to see you again. And let's get into gratitude in the next video, shall we? All right, until I see you again, I want you to look in the mirror and find at least 100 reasons to say thank you. I love you. I'll see you guys later.